Hi there, this is Amy with Get Fit and Style. And for the month of July, we're going to be doing a 4-part series on menu planning and meal prep and just some life hack kind of things to make both those areas a little bit easier. So today we're going to start on menu planning and just getting started with that. So I thought I would just talk about maybe why it's a good idea to have a menu plan and some reasons why maybe we have a hard time having a menu plan. So I have been meal planning for, I think, about 10 years. And before that, I just really was like deer in headlights when it came to meal planning. I would look at the food in my fridge and I just could not figure out how to plan ahead for it. But the truth of the matter is that whether you plan for it or not, you're going to be making food from it, especially if you have kids and a family. At some point, that food is going to get eaten, and you're either going to be proactive with that food or you're going to be reactive with the food. So generally what happens is if you don't have a menu plan, even if what you have in your house is very healthy, you're going to be choosing something that's going to be quick and easy when it gets to dinner time because you haven't really thought about it. And menu plans can look different for everybody. You might just do like today and tomorrow. You might do a full week. I know some people that do a full month. That's kind of crazy to me. I do mine week by week. And so I will tell you how I do mine, but first let's talk about some reasons why we want a meal plan. So the main reason to meal plan is so that you're eating healthier and using the food that you have in your house. This helps us save money, which right now with the price of groceries, this is what you want to do. You want to make the most of the food that you have. So utilizing leftovers and the food that's already in your fridge or that you're growing in your garden is number one. That's the key thing for menu planning. You want to use what you have available. And the more that you cook at home and not eating out, the healthier you are. So even if you're eating pizza at home, if you make a homemade pizza versus a store-bought or frozen pizza, it's going to be healthier. Same with burgers or anything you can make from scratch. You're going to be taking some of the preservatives that would be on the shelf at the grocery store. So the more you can learn to make things yourself and do it at home, it's going to save you money, it's going to save you time, and you're going to be healthier. So that's a win all around, right? The things that I think maybe keep us from having a menu plan are just knowing where to begin. There's just so much, right? I love looking at my cookbooks. I'm gonna grab one more quick. But I love my cookbooks. I love the pretty pictures that they put in them and the stories. I mean, they're so fun, right? And when I look at these pictures, I want to make everything in them. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched that movie, Julie and Julia, but she went through and did every single recipe in Julia Child's cookbook. And every time I find a cookbook I like, I want to do that. I want to make every recipe in here. But it's overwhelming, right? Like, where do you begin? There's so many options. I think another obstacle is like, what if I plan to have something on Wednesday, but I get to that night and I just don't really feel like it. It sounds yucky. I don't like it. It's really not a big deal. If you have planned ahead and you have other meals on there, you can either swap it out. If you realize like you're not going to use it, you can do something else with the ingredients that you were going to make. Not a big deal. There's a lot of trial and error when you're first menu planning, and even for me sometimes. Sometimes you just make a ton of something, and then if your family doesn't mind, you might eat on it more than one night, or you might change it up a little bit. Sometimes, you get asked out to eat, so you don't have to make dinner, so then you have that. What I like to do if I have a meal planned and then I end up not needing to use it, since I have all the ingredients for it, you just put it right on next week's plan, and then that's one less meal that you have to plan for. Okay, so I Oh, well, okay, so one other thing before I move on is that I think I don't know, at least for me, I felt like when I had a plan, my meals had to be pretty special. Like I needed to have a special dinner because I was planning it out. And I remember when I was first married, I was trying to make all these like fancy dinners. And then when I was tired and I made spaghetti, and guess which was my husband's favorite? It was the spaghetti. And I think you will find this with your family too. They don't want anything fancy or special. Like every once in a while, yes. But for the most part, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. You probably are already making a majority of meals that are the same. So stick with that. Stick with what you know, and then maybe once a week or twice a month, do a new recipe to try. So here are my tips for getting started. Well, first thing, the thing that helped me get started was another blogger named Andrea Decker. I'll put her in the comments below. She's not on social media, so you actually have to go to her blog, but she has some great ideas and resources for getting started with Menu Plan. Her main thing that got me started was having a theme each night of the week. So I can't remember what hers were. I liked alliteration, so this is how I got started. I did like Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, it's kind of whatever Wednesday, and then I think I had an Italian night, or maybe just pizza, I can't remember. I can't remember what exactly I did, but I had a theme for each night, maybe soup on Sunday, something easy. And I just stuck with that theme, and it just gave a little direction instead of having a whole cookbook that you're trying to look through and find this. You're like, okay, well, Thursdays we're having Italian, so let me find a recipe that would go with that theme. So it narrows it down just a little bit. I don't do that so much anymore, and I'll show you my whole process next week. But it is a great, great way to get started. I still have two that I do. We do Taco Tuesday, and we do pizza movie night on Saturdays. And so those are our two that we do, and then I fill in. I'll show you my process, like I said. But if you're getting started, think of some themes. My other idea for getting started is to enlist the help of your family. If I'm stuck, I still get stuck from a lot of times. I don't know what to make or when I'm planning. And so I will ask my kids or my husband, is there something that I haven't made for a while that you would like me to make? And then you can, if you know, within reason, you can just put that on your menu plan, and that helps a lot. And then you know your kids are gonna like it as well. So that's a win-win as well. So cookbooks are overwhelming, I think, when you're just trying to plan straight from the cookbook. So how I use cookbooks is, number one, if I want to just find a new recipe, something I haven't done for a while. But the best way to use cookbooks, I think, is when you have extra of an ingredient. So like this time of year when everything is coming into harvest, so say you have butternut squash and you just want to find something to do with that. Usually in the back, they will have stuff where you can find an ingredient that you're trying to make. Usually it wouldn't be butternut squash, it might just be under squash. And then it will have a bunch of pages and you can look through. A lot of squashes can be substituted one for another, and you can find something on there to use that in a different way than maybe you normally would have. So that's my favorite way to use cookbooks, is if I have like extra leftovers or something, just find something, a new way to use them. And that's pretty much it. I have a printable for how I do my menu planning. I do all my meals, and then I have a food prep, like something that I can do to work ahead so that my meals are easier, and then groceries. And so I will try to link that below too, if that's a helpful way. And I will see you next week, where I will show you my process for how I plan my meals each week. All right, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions on meal planning that I could answer, I would love that. All right, take care.